Hello, everybody. This is Skip Alzheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime Streaming Show. I just got here. I was at the house, and I had actually pre-recorded today's show because I thought I was still going to have to be at the house with the plumber who was working on a water hammer issue. If you're a homeowner, maybe you know what a water hammer is, but it was fixed, and I rushed over to the archive and threw together today's show. Happy Valentine's Day, happy VD Day is what we call it here at AV Geeks. I'm going to show you some films. I think I've shown all of them in the past, but it's been a while, maybe 3-4 years. But we're going to get started with a Cornet film. And of course, Cornet, they try to address every single topic possible. And so this is How Do You Know It's Love? Enjoy.
I love you, Nora. Do you love me?
Oh, I don't know, Jack.
You're the only girl I've dated in 2 months. We get along fine. You do love me, don't you?
I think so, but I'll have to think about it.
Hello, dear.
Hello, Mom.
Have a nice time?
I'll say. Jack's awfully handsome and such a smooth dancer. Mom, how can I tell if... how did you know when you were in love with Dad?
Oh, I've been in love several times before. I got so I could recognize the symptoms.
Several times?
Mm-hmm. And each time I thought I'd found my Prince Charming. Most fall in love quite a few times in their lives.
Well, then, how can you tell when you're really in love?
Well, I'll have to think about that. Let's save it for tomorrow, shall we?
All right. Good night.
Good night, dear.
Most people fall in love quite a few times. I wonder if Jack knows that.
I tell you, Bob, I haven't dated any girl but Nora in 2 months. We're really in love.
Uh-huh. And you were really in love with Betty and Mary and Dallas and I don't know who else. And there'll be others, I suppose.
Oh, no. That's over with. You know, Bob, Nora's the prettiest girl I've ever known. She's just as beautiful as...
Beautiful. And you think that's all that matters? Oh, hurry up and get in bed, will you?
Bob, did you feel this way when you fell in love with Jean?
Oh, look. I've felt that way lots of times. The trouble with you is, you don't seem to understand what love is really about. You young punks go to the movies a couple of times, do a little necking, and you think you're in love. I've never seen anything like it.
All I wanted to do was ask. You don't have to get sore about it, do you?
Oh, I'm sorry, Jack, but look at it this way. You just haven't been around enough to know what love really is. Believe me, it's nothing like the slush they give you in the movies.
Well, I don't know, Bob.
That's right. You don't know. Maybe you would understand better if... Say, I've got an idea. How'd you like to double date with Jean and me tomorrow night?
Why, sure, Bob. That would be swell. Sure you wouldn't mind?
Not if you let me get some sleep now. Good night.
Good night.
Oh, Jack, that sounds like loads of fun. See you tonight. Goodbye. Guess what, Mother? Jack and I are going on a double date with Jack's brother Bob and his girlfriend. They're engaged and so much in love. Janie has the most beautiful diamond.
Oh, that's fine, dear. I've met Bob. I think he's awfully nice.
I do, too.
And speaking of love, weren't you and I going to talk about that today?
Yes, we were.
I've been thinking about your question, and, well, suppose we look at these snapshots together,
Snapshot?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do they have to do with love?
Oh, I was just thinking that they might help you to understand how your capacity for love grows and develops just as you grow and develop. Here, look at this one.
Oh, Mother, did you have to keep that?
You know, in a way, you were in love even then. Every baby loves its parents for their care and protection. Of course, some people expect that care and protection all their lives. They never grow up. But it is a kind of love. Now, compare that with this picture.
Oh, that's the boy who used to live next door. My, how he did love his teddy bear. Love?
That's right. That's a kind of love, too. Possessiveness. A love for the things you own.
Some of us never get over being possessive when we're in love, do we?
You're beginning to understand. Now, here's a snap that shows how we learn to return love by doing things for others.
Well, what about love of our friends? Isn't that a stage of love?
Yes, I think it is. Here, look at this.
Why, that's Betty and Ellen and Ann. I took that picture with my first camera. Oh, I know. There was a time when I wouldn't look at anyone but my special friends. I guess that was a stage of love.
Yes, and boys go through a similar stage when they stick together in gangs and won't have anything to do with girls.
We soon changed that.
Now, let's see. Oh, do you remember this picture?
The captain of the football team. That was 2 or 3 years ago. He never knew how much I loved him. I guess he never knew I existed at all.
Well, we all go through crushes like that on teachers or sports stars or movie stars. Then after a while, there's a stage that some people call puppy love.
Why, that's Morris. I'd almost completely forgotten that.
Remember how important it seemed at the time?
I'll say.
And it really was important as a part of learning how to love and be loved.
I think I can tell puppy love. Oh, look, there's the couple who met at camp last summer. I certainly caught them.
Yes. And that's another stage where the physical side of love dominates. Sometimes this is mistaken for mature love, but there's a difference.
Mature love. That's a new way of thinking about it. How can you tell when love is mature?
Well, mature love is more settled. Mature love has something of the other kind of love in it and something more. It's tender, unselfish, cooperative.
When I get serious about somebody, Mom, I want to have that kind of love.
That's a good idea, dear. And if you aren't sure, you can always ask yourself some questions. Are we really interested in the same things? Do we feel at ease together? Are we proud of each other? Do we agree on the basic things such as religion, marriage, children, money, and so on?
Thanks, Mother. I know that'll help.
I hope so, dear.
Are we really interested in the same things? Do we feel at ease together? Are we proud of each other? Are we agreed on basic things? I wonder. I'm going to watch Bob and Jean, see if they have a mature love.
I've never seen a shiny storm before in my life. We've been here for quite some time.
Oh, I'm having a wonderful time. I've never been here before.
Oh, we're so glad you could come. This is one of our favorite spots.
Yes, we sort of found it together, you might say, and we come here quite often. Oh, the real Chinese dishes are over here.
Thanks, Bob. Oh, Bob, look what came today.
What? Oh, the season tickets for our concert series.
And guess what? You're going to have to sit through another concert by that young French pianist you didn't like.
You mean the same one we saw last season?
That's right. Maybe this year you'll agree with me that he has real talent.
Well, maybe, but only if he's improved.
Oh, Bob. Well, at least we'll have fun debating it.
Do Bob and Jean have a mature love? Are they interested in the same thing? I'll say they are. They seem to have so many things to talk about and do together.
Say, Nora, talking about music, have you heard the new recording of the Brahms Violin Concerto?
Well, no, I guess I never really learned to appreciate classical music. Are Jack and I interested in the same thing? I wonder. Another question Mom asked. Do we feel at ease with each other?
You know, there's no telling what we'll get, but I'm willing to take a chance if you are.
Oh, that's the fun of it, Bob. What about some of this watercress salad?
That's a fine idea.
Bob and Jean certainly are at ease with each other. But what about us?
Well, I've made up my mind. I'm going to have the leg of lamb.
Oh, well, I thought it would be fun to try a Chinese dish.
That's all right if you like that stuff. Me, I'll stick to the lamb.
Well,
Oh, come on, Nora. Take a chance with us on the lobster Cantonese.
oh, I'd like that. No, I don't always feel at ease with Jack. He's so unpredictable. I guess I am, too. We don't really know each other. And Mom talks about being proud of each other. I wonder if I could ever be as proud of Jack as Jean is of Bob. Not right here and now, maybe. But he does have his point. When he gets out on that ball diamond, anybody would be proud of him. But I wonder if we'd ever agree on basic things.
Jack, you know who I saw today? I saw Bill Johnson and his wife. You know, they've got a fine pair of little kids. They dress them up like cowboys.
Oh, kids are such fun. Don't you think so, Nora?
Well, oh, here's the waiter with our soup. Children. Oh, we've never talked about things like that. Or religion, or marriage, or money. Bob and Jean really understand each other. They do have a mature love.
Nora,
Jack, about our talk at the dance last night. In the garden, you know. Well, I guess after seeing Bob and Jean, well, I think that love, a real mature love, is more than I'd imagined.
I guess so. On Bob and Jean, it looks all right. But
We're not ready for that kind of attachment, are we? But we can still have a lot of fun, can't we?
sure we can. Would you like... How about going roller skating next Friday night?
Oh, Jack, that's a wonderful idea. That's the kind of fun I like. What time?
About 8:15.
Oh, swell. I'll see you then, and thanks for this evening. Good night.
Good night.
Old Radio's mentioned in the comment something that I've always said about these films that ask a question about love, which, you know, how do I know it's love? Are you ready for marriage? Going steady? Question mark. The answer is always the negative. No. How do I know it's love? You don't. You're not in love. Are you ready for marriage? No. Should I marry outside my faith? That's another film that we have, made by Family Films. The answer is no. That's pretty much how it plays out. So, yeah. Got another film about love before we switch over to the other interpretation of VD, Valentine's Day. This one I've shown before. I love this film. I love showing this film. It's part of the series Inside Out, which was a series made in 1972, 73. It was shown on public television. Then it was distributed to schools. This one is about a little black kid who has a crush on his teacher and what happens. And it's told, narrated as him as an adult. It's so good. And it resonates with me because, yes, of course, we've all had crushes on our teachers or some adult in our lives, and you know what we have to do to reconcile that. Here's Someone Special.
Under the supervision of NIT, National Instructional Television. Is from a National Instructional Television series. The series and related materials were developed and supported by 32 educational agencies, with additional support from Exxon Corporation.
Now, what's 2 times 3?
7.
You know that's not 7, David. 2 times 3.
6.
All right. Okay. Now, if 2 times 3 is 6, where do you go from there?
I had a teacher once.
5.
Name is Simpson.
3.
And I thought she was the
David,
prettiest
you
lady in the
know
world.
what 2 times 2 is. I'm sure you do.
4.
You know, I think you're missing these on purpose. Write it down. I think you knew that all along, didn't you?
I think so.
Shoulders up, that's it. And lift your... Beautiful, beautiful. Did everyone see that movement? Did you see our legs?
Miss Simpson taught us how to do things that were really fun. Things like nobody else knew how to
Round
do.
the bar, rounding, that's it. Round the fingers around the bar. That's it. Very good. Okay, your left hand around the bar. Round your fingers now. That's fine. All right, and your shoulders up and step up. Very good, Denise. Okay, now who wants to help me? Joy. And David. Okay. Relax. Breathe. Eyes straight ahead. And very slowly begin to go back. Back. That's it. Into my hand. All the way. That's it. Relax back. And slowly up and over. Let your head drop. That's it. All the way to the floor. And can everyone see David's position? 1, 9, 1, 2, very good. 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
I used to think about the pretty clothes Miss Simpson wore, with all the pretty colors. She looked like pictures in magazines. There was one store where I used to look in the window and make believe she was there. I tried as hard as I could to show her how smart I was.
Let's see, that's right and that's right.
Do you think so have problems to do?
Oh, we only have a few minutes left, David.
I can do less problems in a minute.
I'm sure you can. Oh, who wants to help me in the set? Start down here. That's it. Okay. Well, I have to fold mine straight, too. Now, don't forget, as soon as you finish one, then you take your two colors and you...
Come on, guys! David!
Have you finished with the glue? Oh, well, here, let's
Can we
use it.
put this on here?
Yeah, that'll be pretty nice.
Stick him up, stick him up. Oh, right there, right there.
Oh, my hero. Hey, wake up, David. Thank you. Tell us about him, David, will you?
His name is Tom. Hi, Tom. And he comes from India. He likes...
I took Tom, my pet parrot, to school just to show her.
He lived to be about 30 or 40 years old and 6 months old.
Look at the colors in that bird. Aren't they beautiful? What colors do you see?
Green, orange, and yellow, and red.
Look at his eyes.
Miss Simpson,
Yes, sir.
may I keep come on your desk so the cage won't get knocked over?
Sure, you certainly may.
All day I kept hanging around her desk, acting like I wanted to look after Tom.
I was born in February. That's all you get out of me, okay?
What day?
The 18th.
What day?
Well, let's see. I think I was born on a Monday. Why? What day were you born on?
That's a secret.
Okay, well, then we'll have secrets together.
Be careful now. Where do you live? A couple blocks away, David. What street?
I knew she lived with her mother and father, but I didn't know where.
What street do you live on? What street do you live on, David? Watch it, girls. What street do you live on?
I live on Madison.
Madison. 5, 5, 5, 6, 7, 7, 6. Yes, sir. Hello?
Every weekend I ride my bike past her house. I kept hoping she might come out, and I was scared she might come out. Just in case she did come out, I always acted like I just happened to be going by. One time I got my nerve up, and I figured out a way I could go knock on her door.
Hi there.
Hi, would you like to buy a raffle ticket?
A raffle ticket for what?
PTA,
And what are they raffling?
cameras, TVs, things like that.
Well, don't be nervous. I'd like to have one. How much are they?
What a piece.
Well, now just relax.
Now, just relax. Lift your head up, straight up, relaxing. Now, open your eyes. Open your eyes. Everyone's eyes should be wide open. Fine. Okay, now I'm going into a review.
I dreamed that Miss Simpson fell in love with me, and I thought if I just dreamed hard enough, I could make it come true.
All the way.
I used to look at her real hard, and it was like I could take her picture in my head. I kept it a secret how I felt, but I had to tell somebody, so I talked a little bit to my best friend, Chris.
You know what's really pretty? Oh, Miss Simpson. Man, you call Miss Simpson. David called Miss Simpson. I didn't say that. I just said she was pretty. Good thinking, man. Miss Simpson's gonna get married by the man that picks her up after school.
I acted like I didn't care, but I watched her after school to see if it was true. It was true. I made up my mind I was going to work harder and do even better in everything. I tried to look real good all the time.
David, are you about finished in here?
I haven't finished with my teeth and I haven't combed my hair yet.
You're looking good, son, but your dad has to go to work, so he has to get in here.
Okay.
I made believe her boyfriend got fired from his job and started robbing people. And one day he tried to rob her, and I gave him a kick and he ran off.
Come Come on. Can I go back and get my handkerchief? All right, hurry up. Come on, let's get these lines straight or we aren't going anywhere. Are we ready? All right, come on, let's go.
I got it in my head that I could still get Miss Simpson to fall in love with me if I gave her some presents. I left my best rock on the desk, but I didn't say it was from me.
Yes, David.
I'm finished.
All right, fine. For those of you who have finished, place your pencils on your desk, fold your hands, sit back in your chairs and relax.
Dearly beloved, we are met together in the presence of God to join this man and this woman in marriage.
I have a problem.
Okay, let's see. That's
I give this
642.
ring as a pledge of our union. I now pronounce you man and wife together. Now you may salute the bride.
David? David? Are you with us today? Collect the papers in your row, will you please?
Chris, my friend, started telling everybody I like Miss Simpson, and a bunch of girls started to tease me.
David, if you'll erase the blackboard for me, that'll be fine.
I didn't care about being teased, but I had to find out if Miss Simpson really liked me.
Miss Simpson?
Yes, David. What is it, David?
Do you like me more than anybody in class?
No.
She said she liked everybody, but the way she said no and looked at me made me feel stupid about all the things I've been thinking.
Gonna take you to the movie, Cinderella. Huh? Gonna hear some fun? No, she likes it. Huh? Gonna stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
David, minute! Right that minute! What is it? He hit me first, David. David!
I figured out a way to make everybody laugh at her, but the janitor erased it.
That's right. All right, now lift your left hand, tuck your thumb under the bar, and wrap
I
your
stopped
fingers
being good and
around.
started causing trouble to get back
All
at
right,
her.
now let's create it again for your audience. All right, class, can you tell what we're holding on to?
Yes.
Good. All right, now.
Don't that.
David, what has gotten into you?
I did more and more bad things, but she wouldn't pay any attention to me. So I made up my mind to really fix her and carve "I hate you" in her desk. I acted like I forgot my lunchbox so I could go back after school.
David, what are you doing with those scissors? You haven't said one word, David. Suppose the two of us talk, just a man-to-man talk between the two of us. What about the two of you? Miss Simpson, how do you feel about a talk between the two of you?
Hey, look at me. I'll understand. You can tell me. Oh, come on.
Well, I brought out the presents and things.
and I tried to act nice, and then you said you didn't like me.
Oh, I didn't mean that, David. I do like you. I like the other kids, too. You're very special to me. You know that, don't you?
Yes.
The principal told me to smooth down the desk. Miss Simpson got married. We were friends. And later she moved.
Inside Out is a series of programs and related materials developed and supported by 32 educational agencies in the United States and Canada, with additional support from Exxon Corporation. This program was produced by KETC, St. Louis, Missouri, under the supervision of NIT, National Instructional Television.
I love that. Can you imagine showing that film if you were a teacher and you knew that kids in your class had a crush on you, and this was a way to maybe try to, like, I need to show a film to deal with these kids who have a crush on me? Because I certainly have teacher friends who talked about kids who had crushes on them and would often act out because they had crushes on them. And it's so great. It just captures that kind of feeling, and that, like, oh yeah, it was a crush and we both grew up, and yeah, it's in the past. Let's see. So we're gonna switch over to VD is for venereal disease and not Valentine's Day, and I'm gonna show a film that it's not part of my collection, but I've been actively looking for it for a while. I do have a collection of old VD films, hoping to do a book or a movie about it, because they're fascinating. And this one is really fascinating because this came out in 1948, and it is made for the African American population. It was made by this group who featured George Stoney, and George Stoney is a big person in the educational film world. He did All My Babies, which is a film about midwives. He did Book for Safekeeping, which is an amazing film made for police officers on how to be compassionate when dealing with the mentally ill. Did one on suicide. He made one for Ford Motor Company called American Road. A variety of different things. And then helped create public access television. Like, he was one of the pioneers of that. So George Stoney, I met him once at a conference, and very kind man. I got him to sign a copy of another VD film that he made that I have. But this one, like I said, this came out in 1948, and it was in conjunction with, I think it was Mississippi State Health Department. The sad irony of this is that in 1948, while this film is very compassionate and is trying to educate the African American community about the dangers of syphilis and gonorrhea, at the same time, at Tuskegee Institute, there was an experiment going on where men who came in with bad blood, had syphilis, basically were not treated. They were just looked at periodically for a long period of time. And basically many of them died. Many of them suffered some of the horrible things that syphilis does to your body. And it was called out in 1972. And then that's when they stopped the project. Like, oh my God. And there was a lawsuit, $10 million lawsuit to the families and widow. And the thing is, like, in late 40s is when they started treating these diseases with, like, penicillin and other things. And the people that were part of this Tuskegee experiment were not treated with it. And so this is ethically a horrible, horrible thing. But this film is great. It doesn't make up for it at all, the behavior of these scientists, these doctors. But this film was trying to educate a population who were being affected by venereal disease. Just like the other populations, this one is thoughtful and smart and really great. And part of the Library of Congress, part of their sponsored film collection, which I helped with, and which is why I discovered this film. So this is Feeling All Right. And there are some sores in this. There are some needle sticks, but there's no genitalia. So we should be okay. Enjoy.
The principal parts in this story are acted by people from everyday life who have given their time and effort to help in the fight against syphilis. Roy Jackson is played by Eldred Marshall. His mother is played by Mrs. Marshall. His friend Jim and Ruby are played by George Mix and Margaret Lindsay. Jim's friend Linda is played by Thelma Barnes. And Roy's true love, Irma, is played by Blandy Parks.
I was in trouble. Big trouble it looked like. So I thought, go see Jim. He'd been around more than me. Jim will know what to do. Well, Jim knew right off. You got a haircut for sure, Roy. What you do? Fool around that gal, sweet on you in the cafe? I told Jim, maybe I better see a doctor. Don't be crazy, Roy. I got just a thing for you up to the house. Fix you up in no time at all. Maybe Jim don't think I should worry, but I was scared. The sore I had that Jim called a haircut didn't hurt any, but it looked mighty bad. I couldn't stay still thinking about the day in town when I got into this mess. Ran into Jim that Saturday. I hadn't been to town for a couple of months. Too much work to do on Papa's farm. We took a walk down Water Street. Jim knows most everyone around here. He had a wave and a good word for everybody. Maybe Jim don't take farming too serious, but he sure got a lots of friends. Then it all started. A couple of good-looking girls came into the cafe. good friends of Jim, judging by the way they said hello. The one called Linda seemed to take a liking to me right away. Now, I'm no ladies' man like Jim, but this Linda was easy to look at and easy to talk to. It wasn't long before we were laughing and kidding around like old friends. To tell the truth, I don't remember much what we talked about, but it seems mighty nice and cheerful at the time. That afternoon passed in a hurry, and me and Linda got pretty friendly. Too friendly, it turned out to be later on. That's the way it was. And just when I've been figuring on asking Irma about our getting married. Here you are, Roy, the little miracle worker. Just what you need. Men, are you in trouble? Stop worrying now. Dr. Waldorf's little miracle cure will dry up your trouble. Sores disappear in 10 to 20 days. Your money back if you are not satisfied. That sounds like pretty big talk to me. Or, don't be so stubborn, Jim said. Me and Ruby both use it for our sores like yours. I couldn't argue much. Maybe this was the easy way out. 20 days isn't so long if the cure really works.
Like old times dating with Roy again. Got real mad at first, him staying away so long. But his mama says something's been bothering his mind. Not talking to anyone. Just going around the farm looking mighty blue. Whatever it was, guess he's feeling all right again. Okay, sugar, I'm coming. I'm coming.
great day today, and why not? Sun's been mighty good to Roy's crops. He's made up with Irma, going out regular with her now the sore's all gone. Yes, life's worth singing about today. Cotton coming along fine. Corn head high already. A lot of work and sweat goes into those fields, but when you see a... Is that the old trouble come back, Roy? Your sore just breaking out somewhere else? Maybe Jim's salve was a fake, Roy. Good friends sometimes give you foolish advice because they don't know any better. See someone who knows for sure what he's talking about.
The folks haven't noticed the spots on my hand yet. Make me feel real ashamed going around trying to hide them. Been taking that tonic Jim told me to get for about a week now. Still no sign of it clearing up.
What's the matter with your back, Roy? It's all broke out. Roy, you got it on your hands, too. Are you sick, son?
Nothing, Mama. Just the sun's mighty hot out in the field. It doesn't bother me. I feel fine.
If it was heat rash, son, it would be all itchy and fiery. Seems to me like it's something else. You better see a doctor.
Oh, I'm taking the tonic that Jim gave me. He said he'd get rid of it in a hurry.
Oh, that Jim and his silly ideas. Won't let Ruby even see a doctor, and she is 6 months big.
Oh, Mama, cut it out. You don't like Jim, that's all. I had a sore last month. He gave me some salve that dried up fine.
You had a sore, Roy, and didn't tell me nor your papa about it? We thought you were feeling low on account of you and Irma had a falling out.
Leave Irma out of this, Mama. Let me be. I'm no baby anymore.
Now listen to your mama, Roy. I've taken care of all of you when you were sick. Not by just sending in $1 for a bottle of tonic that claimed to cure man or mule. You get some sense into your head and go and see Dr. Jones.
Jim not guessing about this kind of trouble, Mama. It worked for him, and it will work for me, too.
This is a special day at Mount Holly. The county health department has come down to spread the gospel of good health. The windows are covered so pictures can be shown. And Reverend Harris introduces Mrs. Green to the congregation. She's going to talk about a sickness everybody should know about, syphilis.
Some people call syphilis the pox of a bad blood. But whatever name you give it, it's real bad. You may be strong or puny, rich or poor, but when that syphilis germ gets into your blood, you're going to have a lot of trouble. Syphilis is a very catching sickness. You get it mostly by sexual intercourse, by fooling around with someone who has syphilis already. Babies can catch syphilis, too, before they're born. See this poor little fellow? His mother had syphilis while she was still carrying him. And when a baby catches syphilis from its mother, it will likely be born dead, or worse than that, all crippled up like the baby in the picture. Some people get a warning sign when they catch syphilis. Mostly, it is a sore on their privates, because that is where the germ gets into the body. You've heard men call it a haircut.
A woman might not see her sore if it's inside of her. That first sign usually goes away after a while, even without any treatment. But syphilis doesn't give up this easy. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, you get a second sign. Maybe a sore in the corners of the mouth like this. Or patches of hair may fall out. Some get sores on their face. People think they are ringworms or call them nickel and dime spots. Sometimes it is a breaking out of spots on their hands and feet. Lots of people get this kind of a warning, and most all of these sores are as catching as can be. That is how syphilis is spread from one person to another. Now, many people don't know that these are warnings of syphilis. A lot of people who catch syphilis don't get any of these signs at all. So they go for years not even knowing that they have syphilis. They may feel all right, but the germs are still eating away inside their bodies if they don't get the treatment. Then years later, they may get swellings in the joints like this woman, or go crazy, or get heart trouble. They get sores like this that never heal up, just eat deeper and deeper. You can keep this from happening to you. Go to your health department or your doctor and get a blood test. If your blood test shows that you have syphilis, there's only one way of getting cured. Salves and tonics won't help you. Go to your health department or your doctor for treatment right away. It takes only a few days to kill the syphilis germs and make you healthy again.
My name is Mrs. Jackson. How do you do? I'm worried about my son. He has rash on his hands and his back, just like the picture you showed today. Have you tried telling him to come to the health department or see his doctor? You know, a blood test is the only way of telling what his sickness really is. That's the trouble, Mrs. Green. I keep after him. He won't listen to me. He's taking a tonic that his friends say would cure him.
Well, you can be sure that those home remedies won't do him any good if it's syphilis he's got. Here, I'll give you an appointment slip for him. Then he'll know what day and hour to come to the health department for a blood test.
If your son has syphilis, Mrs. Jackson, and doesn't take the treatment, he's going to have a lot of trouble.
Thank you. I'll try to get my boy to come in for a blood test. Thank you.
The lecture gave Roy plenty to think about. That fellow has a breaking out like mine. He went to the health department. But Jim can't see it. Calls it a lot of fancy talk. Insisted he and Ruby took care of themselves when they had it. But Roy just can't get the pictures at the lecture out of his mind. Maybe Jim and Ruby claim they feel all right, but the health lady says you never know when that syphilis is going to come back and cripple you up.
I had a talk with the health people, Roy. You were so bashful in talking yourself. This is a slip they gave me to give you.
Man, you're in big trouble now. They have your name, and they're going to take you off and feed you full of shots, which will make you sick as a dog.
You see here, Jim, you have caused enough trouble with your hoodoo cure. Did you hear the lecture? If you are so smart, take Ruby to the clinic and see if she and the baby is all right. Let Roy take care of his own business. Let's go home, son. I have a dinner to get on the table.
That's a bad-looking rash there, Roy.
Oh, it'll soon be gone. Jim has fixed me up with some special tonic he got. If I were you, I'd get me a blood test. How you know it ain't the pox? I feel all right. Why should I go messing around with doctors and treatment?
I don't blame you, Roy. They tell me they haven't neither out there that long. Stick you up your back like you was a pig.
Oh, you're crazy, Willie. There's nothing to it. Well, I took the treatment when I was in the Army. Rather do that any day than to be crazy. A blind or end up like old Ben. That syphilis is nothing to fool around with.
Remember the lecture, Roy. You'll have to make up your own mind, Roy. Who are you going to believe? The health department was new to Roy. He saw the doctor look right inside of a man with one of those x-ray machines. Saw the clinic that helps mothers keep their babies healthy. There was malaria control, dental care. The VD clinic looked like he should have come here long ago instead of fooling around with Jim's cures. Roy was embarrassed at first, seeing what his trouble was, but he got over that. The people acted like they were there to help him, not blame him for the trouble he got into. Saw the man from the church lecture, too. He told Roy the doctor would give him an examination first, and then he'd get his blood test. That's what syphilis can do, the doctor told Roy. That man had syphilis for years. Didn't know it until he went blind. We cured his syphilis. The germs won't do any more damage, but he'll never be able to see again. And that's why it pays to get a blood test regularly. Then you know for sure that you're all right. The doctor didn't do any guessing. Checked Roy's throat. Looked at the spots on his hands. Looked at the rash on his back. Seemed like it was syphilis all right, but the blood test would be the proof. The doctor told Roy, be sure to take the treatment if your blood test shows that you have syphilis. You can go to your doctor or to the medical center run by the health department. The treatment you get there is free. Time for the blood test. Like he told Jim later on, when you never had one, you get kind of scared. No reason for it. Everybody says it doesn't hurt, but you just can't help worrying, wondering what it's going to be like. Well, people weren't fooling. Just like they say, there's nothing to it. Roy's blood is put in a tube and sent away for testing. In a couple of days, the report came back. Yes, Roy's trouble is syphilis. Roy decides to go to the medical center for treatment. The center is run by the health department. They pay your transportation there and back home again. You get a place to sleep and all the food you can eat. Good food, too. And it doesn't cost you a penny. One of the first things you do at the center is get another examination. It always pays to double check when you're dealing with this syphilis. Listen to that poor baby cry. Makes Roy want to get home fast while there's time, to talk some sense into Jim's stubborn head. Ruby should have this treatment right away before her baby is born. While the doctor listens to Roy's heart and lungs, he sees a little sore on the side of Roy's nose. The doctor takes a smear from it on a glass slide. If there are syphilis germs in that smear, then there's no question that Roy has syphilis.
You want to take a look at this? See those corkscrew things moving around? You can only see those, they're so small with a microscope. That's the germ that causes syphilis. They're in the rash on your hands and back, and in that little sore on your nose. They got in your blood through that sore you said you had on your privates. You can see now why salves and tonics could never do any good. All they do is dry up your sores. The treatment you get here will kill those germs in your blood. You can put your shirt back on now. It's a good thing you came in soon enough so those germs won't have a chance to do any serious damage. Well, it will take only a few days to clear this up. Before you know it, you'll be well again. Then you won't be able to give syphilis to anybody else. That's the big thing, Roy. When folks get syphilis and don't get treated, they can pass their sickness on to the people they go with. Maybe someone they like very much, like their wife or their sweetheart.
That's right, Doctor. When you don't know what the syphilis is, you can get other people into a mess of trouble.
Well, good luck, Roy. You'll be all right as long as you take the treatment until you're cured.
Roy's had several shots by now, but it's the first day for the others, and they feel like Roy did the first time. Can't take their eyes off the needle. This is old stuff for Roy. A couple of seconds and you've had your shot. It's hard to believe that something as simple as that kills those syphilis germs, but it does. No two ways about that. What's all the kidding about? Why, Roy has his bag all packed, all set to go home. See? The rash on his hands is gone. The doctor says his trouble's all cleared up. Won't be long until he sees his folks and Irma again. Shadow and never continueth in one stay. In the midst of life we are in death. For as much as it hath pleased Almighty God in his wise providence to take out of this world the soul of this little child, we therefore commit his body to the ground. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Let us pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
And the glory,
the kingdom,
forever and ever.
Amen.
Amen.
It took a deal of talking to get Irma in for a blood test. She said she felt fine. But when I told her some of the things I'd seen and why Ruby's baby died, she stopped arguing. Her mama wanted her to go to the family doctor, and I said it didn't make any difference, just so she had the test. Irma was bashful about coming in for something like this, but the doctor made us feel easy right away. While I was waiting, I got to thinking about Ruby's baby dying. Too bad she and Jim had to learn about syphilis the hard way. They're taking the treatment now. The blood test showed they both had syphilis. Dr. Jones said I did the right thing coming in with Irma. Every couple should have this blood test before they are married. He told Irma, "Don't you worry. Roy here has had the treatment and is healthy again. When the reports come back on your test and it says you are all right, why, then you two go right ahead. Have as many children as you want."
So I did show this last year. I was looking, and I spelt it differently for some reason. But man, what a phenomenal film this was. And it's why I like it is it really is trying to, like get the message to the average person. It's like, hey, I'm a young man, and I have temptations, and this is what could happen, and I want to start a family with someone, and okay, well, what do you got to do? And the thing that's interesting is, so I did a lot of research on this, and again, this might be a movie or a book, documentary, I don't know, but at the time, some newspapers would not publish factual articles about venereal disease, but they would allow advertising for these fraudulent tonics, and they all had these weird euphemisms like suffering from bad blood or tired blood, French disease, all these things were basically saying like, hey, you got venereal disease, and don't go to a doctor. Like, you can buy this and don't have to be embarrassed. And these things would be sold through barbershops and other places, other shops, and also places that just weren't being regulated, because at the time there weren't pharmacies. There would be maybe a pharmacist, but usually it was a doctor that was preparing the preparation. The other thing is that you notice he had to get multiple shots, and that's before penicillin. Penicillin was something you could give one shot, and it would not harm you. Prior to this, you would get a shot of something that was some sort of heavy metal thing that would kill the virus, or kill the bacteria, or the the microbe that causes syphilis. But if you gave a person too much of it at one time, it could potentially kill the person. So you had to do these kind of slow, measured shots over a period of 6 months or a year. And so this was a problem for public health, because you get somebody to get a shot that first go around, but how do you get them to come back? And so you notice that they had this whole thing about like, well, we'll pay for your transportation, we'll pay for your meal while you're here. You can also get, a physical. That was the incentive. In big cities, what they would do is they would have public health people that would go to somebody's house and get them and take them to the public health department or to the doctor's office. So that was the problem. And man, penicillin was awesome because it was like, you got one shot, and they wouldn't even this has become problematic, of course, but doctor would see the outside symptoms of a venereal disease and say, like, all right, we're just going to give you a penicillin shot and maybe this will knock it out. We'll also do a test, but we'll do this ahead of time. But doing that too many times, you end up with venereal diseases that become resistant to penicillin. The other thing is that other treatment prior to penicillin, if someone got like 2 shots, it would maybe help a little bit, but then there's a possibility that those microbes would become resistant to the drugs that they were being given. So that's why they wanted to make sure that there was a continual treatment to get these people treated. But what I like about these VD films and why I show them is because they're all these little micro dramas, all these little tiny, there's some comedy, there's drama, there's tragedy with the death of the baby, all that stuff that has been happening since they started talking about how to deal with venereal disease. They always involve the scandal of having sex before marriage, but really the drama associated with it. So it's kind of funny. The first VD film was made in 1914 or something like that, and it has 3 little vignettes of soldiers who get in trouble. All right, we're going to add it on a note. This earworm is going to infect you. Enjoy.
VD is for everybody, not just for the few. Anyone can share VD with someone nice as you. VD is for everybody, darling, have no doubt that anyone can get VD. That's what it's all about.
If you're curious or confused, get information or a pamphlet at most pharmacies or a health clinic. If you need help, see a doctor.
That VD is, I want it. Those people were happy, healthy, attractive. They were living the life that I want to live. And so sign me up for that VD. Well, what's interesting about that, because I found this commercial and I played it at a show, and somebody's like, oh my God, my mom used to sing this song when she was washing dishes, and I never knew what it was from. It's super catchy. But also it is fascinating because it mimics what drug advertisements are like now. Where, you have someone who has HIV, but they're happy, they're living this full life, they have friends, they have a partner, they're super happy. It was the same with herpes, too, when the herpes meds were being advertised. It's, oh, we're happy and things are great and blah, blah, So it's like, wow. This predicted what the future of, any drug is basically like, look, you have, rheumatoid arthritis, but look, you can row a canoe and, you could have a full life and you could participate in your granddaughter's birthday party. Whee! So anyways, thanks for watching today. Very much appreciate. And I'm happy that I was here and I didn't have to be at the house dealing with plumbing. I'm not going to be here tomorrow because I'm going to be doing a screening for some film studies students, some intro film studies students. And it might even be people who aren't film studies students. They're just taking this 100 level class because they think they need humanities to graduate. So it might be showing to a bunch of people who have no idea what's going on. I'm very excited to see what we're going to show. we're going to bring a projector and show films live, so it's going to be fun. And then Friday, I'm going to go visit my dad for his birthday. So we're going to have 2 pre-recorded shows. But thank you so much for tuning in. Kevin, thank you for the coffee for my syphilis sores. And I will see you somehow, but I'll see you soon. All right, thanks so much for your support and for your comments. And if you like what you saw, you can donate to patreon.com/avgeeks or ko-fi.com/avgeeks or the super thanks button, or just hit the thumbs up or the like, or I don't know. You know what to do. But anyways, we love you, and we will see you.